Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study that's fresh and delicious. This is your roadside vegetable stand. Pull on over. Come on in. We've got it fresh today. It's handled responsibly just for you. Verses 7 and 8 in Psalm 18 is our subject today. We began our trek through Psalm 18. It's going to take us probably about a month to get through all the verses, and we're going to do it a little bit at a time. This is such an important psalm. We need to take our time with it. We began with that great confession of faith. I love you, O Lord, my strength. And as Weiser said so rightly, that statement irradiates the entire psalm. And so now we've looked at prayer, verses 3 through 6. This is what happens when I'm in distress. I call on the Lord. And now today, in verses 7 and 8, and tomorrow in 9 and 10, we're going to see what happens. Verse 7, the earth shook and quaked. The foundations of the mountains were shaken. So they were caused to tremble at your burning. Smoke went up from his nostrils, and the fire of his mouth devoured. Coals were caused to be burnt by it. All right, that's verses 7 and 8. The earth shook and quaked. Doesn't take long, does it, for prayer to be answered? No, God does not wait around. He answers swiftly. Remember what Jesus told us, in the parable of the parable of the faithful widow or the unjust judge, however you want to frame it, there in Luke's Gospel. I think it's chapter 17 or 18. And he said, the Lord will speedily answer his elect who cry out to him day and night. So, again, it's not going to take long. And what happens? Well, the earth shakes. Well, I want to read to you something that Charles Spurgeon said when he wrote on this in The Treasury of David. He writes, David has in his mind's eye the glorious manifestations of God in Egypt and Sinai and on different occasions to Joshua and the judges, and he considers that his own case exhibits the same glory of power and goodness. He goes on to say, observe how the most solid and immovable things feel the force of supplication. Prayer has shaken houses, opened prison doors, and made stout hearts to quail. Prayer rings the alarm bell, and the master of the house arises to the rescue, shaking all things beneath his tread. And so it's true. The earth does shake and quake at the coming of our God. When he hears us pray, when our prayer enters the temple, comes before his face, and enters into his ears, what happens next? Shaking and quaking happens next. The foundations are shaken. They are caused to tremble at the burning of the Lord. Now, what's he angry with? There's burning. His nostrils, smoke goes up, and fire from his mouth. This is not a dragon we're talking about here. We're talking about the fierce anger of the Lord. Angry because there are enemies at work. There are enemies from whom I need to be saved. And so the Lord, angry with the enemy, comes forth as a mighty man out of his temple to deliver his elect as they cry out to him day and night. He will not tarry long. Oh no, friends. This happens right away. Just as quickly as we read verse 6 and then we read verse 7, so the Lord is moving. His hand is working. It may not seem like it's working in that quick a fashion, but in eternity's scale, it is. The Lord is doing everything for his own glory. And when you pray, you are calling him to glorify himself in your life. Would you do that today? Would you call out to him and ask him to move in your life? Smoke will go up from his nostrils, and fire from his mouth will devour, and coals will be kindled by it. Join me tomorrow. We'll see a little bit more of this theophany in verses 9 and 10 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.